How do you like painting? A few years back, I used to paint with my dad and my brothers. And in college, I painted some too as a way to make a little bit of money. But painting does something unique to a room that we all like to think about. There's something about a fresh coat of paint that makes a difference in a room. It kind of gives it a different perspective. Right now, I'm in my kitchen, and we haven't painted this room in a long time, so I'm putting a lighter coat of paint on there, and I'm noticing that it makes it brighter room. It's brighter. And so I like to paint because it kind of gives a fresh perspective on a room that we didn't think was going to happen. Or at least as if we did it was going to happen, we hope it's going to be a better perspective. So I want to share with you an idea that we're going over this coming Sunday. This coming Sunday, we're talking about a guy named Joseph. And Joseph is absolutely in a season of suffering. And so I wonder if you and I, for example, can consider rooms we'd like to paint a room of suffering. How often do you think you'd want to be in a room of suffering? And whether you like or not, suffering comes to us in three ways. Suffering comes because of your choice. Suffering comes because of someone else's choice. And suffering comes because of the world we live in. We just suffer. But I wonder if we could get a perspective that's brighter than we have in this room of suffering. And here's what I'm talking about. Joseph was in a room of suffering. And at the end of Genesis 41, Joseph has an outlook on his time of suffering that is so positive, he actually names his children after the character of God because what he experienced through God in his time of suffering. And so I have a perspective or a new paint for you to consider when you're suffering. And this is what that perspective is. Good can come from suffering. It's like a bright paint on a dull room. Good can come from suffering. I'm going to teach you on Sunday morning at least three good things that come from suffering, and you and I can paint that room of suffering with a perspective that brightens that time of suffering. So I want to encourage you. Show up to church on Sunday or listen to us on YouTube, Facebook, and I think you'll find that when you can paint your room of suffering, which you cannot ever avoid, you're going to suffer. When you can paint your room of suffering with a perspective that makes it brighter, why not take it? So show up at church Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Don't dress up, no assigned seats, and we'd be glad to have you here. Look forward to seeing you.